Finance Minister raises minimum wage by $3. THA is allocated $2.585 billion in the 2024 appropriation bill by the central government. Woman stabbed to death during love triangle dispute. And in sport, 5 half-centuries scored as the Tobago T10 Windball Crickets bowled off over the weekend. Good evening, I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards. This is your Tobago Updates television news for Monday, 2nd October 2023. Topping the news this evening, the minimum wage has been raised. As part of today's budget reading, one of the most eagerly awaited topics has been addressed. Finance Minister Colm Imbert presented a budget with $59.209 billion with a deficit of $5.197 billion. We'll come back to that story a little later on in our newscast. Well, the Tobago House of Assembly was granted a total allocation of $2.585 billion from the central government in the appropriation bill for the financial year 2024. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
Finance Minister Colm Imbert allocated 4.36% of the national budget to the THA.
The THA allocation totals $2.585 billion, of which $2.298 billion is for recurrent expenditure, $260 million is for the development program expenditure, and $18 million is for the URP, and $9.2 million for CPEC. The total allocation to the THA in 2024 represents an increase of $64.2 million over the allocation of $2.521 billion in fiscal year 2023.
The THA had requested a total of $4.54 billion in June, resulted in a shortfall of $2.955 billion. The Finance Minister explained that he was in support of many of the plans announced by Chief Secretary and Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Fali Augustine, including initiatives such as mega farms, the revitalization of the tourism sector, the construction of a new Scarborough secondary school, and more.
Now, these, Madam Speaker, are the policy prescriptions of the THA which underpin their budget. I wish them well. I expect that the broad economic and macroeconomic performance achieved in Trinidad will now assist an improving economy in Tobago. That is, our robust gross national domestic product, elevated levels of employment, and a stable and low level of inflation.
Meanwhile, the minister announced that an additional total of $678.5 million will be allocated for spending in Tobago through various other ministries. The
Tobago Airport Terminal project at a cost of $400 million. The Roxborough Fire Station headquarters at a cost of $1.9 million. Desilting of the Hillsborough Dam at a cost of $7.5 million. Upgrade of the National Energy Skills Center in Goldsboro at a cost of $1 million. Tobago Technology Center at a cost of $1 million. UTT Tobago Campus at a cost of $600,000. Upgrade of the Dwight Walk Stadium at a cost of $4 million. The Little Rockley Bay Stabilization Works for Magdalena Hotel at a cost of $3 million. And meteorological services equipment at a cost of $3 million.
Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates Television News.
Now to some news of crime. Police are questioning a suspect in connection with the murder of 39-year-old Rayon Henry, also known as Lucy. Henry was stabbed to death on Saturday night, bringing the murder toll in Tobago to 10 for the year so far. Here are the details.
39-year-old Rayon Henry lost her life on Saturday night following an altercation with another woman. The incident occurred on Gaskin Bay Road, according to Superintendent Rodil Kirk.
Around 9 p.m. on Saturday, there was an altercation between two individuals. It resulted in one of them being stabbed with a sharp object. She was conveyed to the Scarborough General Hospital, where she later succumbed to her injuries.
According to reports from neighbors, the incident unfolded when Henry, accompanied by another woman, engaged in a heated altercation with the accused. The accused retreated into her residence and emerged with a fishing knife, launching a vicious assault on the victim, inflicting 2 grievous stab wounds, one in the neck and another in the abdomen. Swift action was taken by concerned bystanders who promptly summoned the ambulance and alerted the appropriate authorities to the scene. It has been alleged that both the victim, Henry, and the accused were in a prior relationship. Police have since apprehended the suspect.
A female suspect is now in police custody, and the police are working assiduously to, get all the details as to the circumstances surrounding this matter.
While the police are still investigating the murder, Superintendent Kirk has urged for patience from the public on this and similar events.
Murder investigation is a very intricate investigation. It involves a lot of things that the officers needs to do. And you have to get it right the first time. As we will say, I am asking the public really to be patient with us because we don't want to give away accuracy for speed.
The Homicide Bureau is leading the investigation. Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates Television News.
We have more details on the national budget coming up next. Stay with us.
We are going on a new journey. Tobago now has its very own carnival.
She like loud music and platinum touch. Yeah.
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more. Standards are what you're searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It's nice.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
the only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
But this place is boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes? Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
We would just want to...
Miss Hamilton's back.
Welcome back. The minimum wage has been raised. As part of today's budget reading, one of the most eagerly awaited topics has been addressed. Finance Minister Colm Imbert presented a budget with $59.209 billion with a deficit of $5.197 billion. Further details from Ariana Scipio.
During the budget reading in Parliament today, Minister Colm Imbert announced an increase in the minimum wage, with the aim of reducing the socio-economic gap in society.
By 17%, or $3 per hour, from $17.50 to $20.50 per hour.
In alignment with his goal of enhancing the well-being of society, he introduced the book Families in Need, which would be determined through a means test.
A book grant of $1,000 to assist in meeting the cost of attendance.
Minister Imbert also expressed his intention to boost recruitment into the police service, aiming to bolster efforts in combating the prevailing crime issue in the country. Additionally, he extended the tourism plan by 3 years.
We're extending by 3 years the tourism accommodation upgrade project incentive, which was due to expire on September 30th, 2023.
A contract was also awarded for the acquisition of scanners to improve security at ports around the country.
To detect the importation of illegal arms, new modern scanners are being procured for the ports, bonded warehouses and transit sheds. We have awarded a contract at an estimated cost of $90 million for the supply, delivery, installation, and commissioning of 4 large-scale, non-intrusive inspection scanners.
Well, a call to be more responsible and protect our children was made by Superintendent of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Rodel Kirk. He shared the dangers children face and advised parents on how they can protect their children against the risks of society on the Tobago Updates morning show. Ariana Scipio tells us more.
Superintendent Rodel Kirk is urging parents to be more vigilant concerning the safety of their children. Due to the incidents that have occurred in the past, parents must be informed about how to ensure the safety of their children, especially during the upcoming Tobago Carnival at the end of the month.
In terms of the carnival when coming up, for parents not to leave minor children in the care of other minor children. Make sure you have a responsible adult that could take care of your child while you are absent from home.
He explained that if anything goes wrong, parents will be held accountable. And to reduce harm done to children, they need to be more responsible. Kirk also warned that children may be subject to harm while in the care of family members, advising that parents should leave them in the care of responsible adults whom they...
Sometimes, many of the time, incidents occurred with somebody who has a closer familial relationship with the child. So we have to be mindful of that. You must know, you must do your due diligence.
He stated that parents should be the one in whom children can confide, and parents should report any incidents to the police, while also providing information about other figures of authority to whom children can report.
Another person the child could relate to, if the child is at school, the child could relate to a teacher. The teacher, again, could bring the information to the police. The law requires certain people, when that information is shared, to make sure and report it.
Superintendent Kirk highlighted the importance of informing children about potential dangers in society, including sexual predators. To seek assistance or report concerns, contact the Children's Protection Authority, the Community Police Unit at 639-4737, or any local police station. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
Despite the advancements in societal awareness and education regarding disabilities, the understanding of Down syndrome remains relatively limited in Trinidad and Tobago. For a more in-depth exploration of this issue, we turn to Melinda Woods.
Down syndrome, a genetic disorder, leads to physical and intellectual disabilities, posing challenges for affected individuals, families, caregivers, educators, and professionals. The Down Syndrome Family Network recently held a workshop at Scarborough Library, focusing on social inclusion and challenging misconception about the condition. Clinical psychologist Rachel Lal highlighted the negative impact of a lack of inclusivity, often resulting in mental illness.
There are studies that show that 20% of persons with disabilities, they end up getting diagnosed with a mental disorder at some point in time, mostly depression, anxiety. There's a lot of behavioral disorders.
Lal emphasizes the importance of reasonable adjustment to assist individuals with disabilities in their daily lives, which include emotional and behavioral support and guidance on appropriate behavior. These adjustments aim to enhance the understanding of the daily challenges faced by people with disabilities and can help prevent such issues.
If someone is not learning the regular way that persons learn, then what do we do? How do we change things? What are the accommodations that we can make to be more inclusive so that this person can follow along, can learn what we need them to learn?
She mentioned that applying reasonable adjustment can reduce the risk of mental health issues in disabled individuals and potentially enhance their self-esteem and confidence. Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith B. Israel, discussed disability inclusion in the workforce and noted that the THA is currently developing an employment policy for individuals with disabilities.
There are 5 or so guiding principles of the document, and those include accessibility, which means that we want to ensure that persons with disabilities have the opportunity to acquire the same services as a person without a disability. The other one is equity, meaning providing persons with disabilities with specific resources needed to achieve all of their goals.
Secretary B. Israel hopes the private sector will. EOC Director Haran Ramkaran Singh stressed the importance of including individuals with disabilities not only in the workforce but also in areas like food and accommodation services and educational institutions, regardless of their gender and age.
The Equal Opportunity Act is not just limited to primary and secondary school, it applies to any form of educational institution. So if you're being discriminated against in education, you can lodge a complaint with the Commission. And finally, if you're being discriminated against in accommodation, that is to say, you're trying to buy a property, buy a house, rent an apartment.
He stressed that discrimination should not be based on factors such as sex, race, religion, marital status, ethnicity, or disability. He emphasized that individuals with Down syndrome and other disabilities should be recognized as people first, live as normal as possible, and enjoy full rights as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, as valued members of the community. Melinda DeBeekwood, Tobago Update, Television News.
Our Sport Report is next. Stay with us.
Bad girl from Roxborough, Tobago, body fuego in your day clothes, I rate you. Grew up around good vibes and incense. Grew up in hard times that intense. Shut it as you're reaching at the dance. Use the topic as you're reaching at the dance. My girl, go and drop it as you're reaching at the dance. Making use of your talents when you balance back on the dance. Yes, yes. I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious. Not just beat and leave. You're fed up on the streets. Yes, yes, I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious.
Welcome to a Sport Report. The Tobago T10 Windball Cricket Tournament commenced with a bang over the weekend, with a spectacular display of 5 half-centuries by the competing teams. For the inside scoop on this action-packed event and the exciting quest for the coveted $20,000 top prize, we turn to a sport reporter, Marcus Daniel.
5 half-centuries were scored on the opening day of the Tobago T10 Community Windball Cricket Championships at Parade Square, Bacalet. Kwani Thomas of Mainridge Challengers was the first to raise his bat in a knock of 6-2 against Wim Sharks. The challengers' total of 123 for 4 proved too difficult for the Sharks as they were bowled out for 78. National under-19 player Orlando James showcased his outstanding talent with a swashbuckling 7-6 in an easy 10-wicket win for Cavs Roofing Solutions, Roxburgh United, against the Pembroke upsetters. Jaron Alfred then notched up an unbeaten 64 in yet another comfortable win for Roxburgh United, this time against Mason Challengers. Veteran player Leon Davidson rolled back the years with an aggressive 52, but couldn't get his team over the line against HACC Roxburgh Gunners. Belgarden Smashers accumulated the highest team total with a mammoth 100 the Pembroke upsetters. Youth player Jaden Kent contributed 60 runs in the onslaught. Rodney Alfred then grabbed the tournament's first hat-trick in a spell of 3 for 21, which secured a 72-run win for the Smashers. Kevin Edwards with 4 wickets for 10 runs and Afiba McKenna with 4 wickets for 4 runs were the standout bowlers. 12 community-based teams will do battle over the next 3 weekends with a first prize of $20,000 at stake. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
Despite their valiant efforts, neither the Charlottesville Police Youth Club nor the Roxborough Lakers managed to secure a victory against each other in the Eastern Conference of the Tobago Football Association League. Marcus Daniel explains.
Eastern Conference action in the Tobago Football Association League resumed Sunday with 2 scheduled matches. In the Eastern Conference clash at Speyside, the Charlottesville Police Youth Club and Roxborough Lakers played to a 1-1 draw. Oriel Walcott's 19-minute strike for the Lakers was matched by Jaron Chadburn's 76-minute goal for Charlottesville. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference matchup, FC Phoenix and Blackhawk FC battled to a goalless draw. League action will continue this Wednesday, October 4th, with Georgia FC facing off against Roxborough Lakers. In some related news, FC Phoenix will host Harlem Strikers of the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League Tier 2. Kickoff is set for 5 p.m. Let's go out there and support Phoenix at Blackhawk. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
And that's it for Sport Report, but more news when we return. Stay with us.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to $15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment for self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months, other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loan@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Strawberry Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, in the lead up to Tobago Carnival, the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment Services has announced they will be forming their own band for Juve, introducing Operation Groundhog. Our reporter Tanika Cruikshank tells us more about this exciting addition to the festivities.
Face of carnival bands, but Regiment Officer Prince Otley has a different vision. He aims to foster unity and provide an opportunity for the military to join in the Tobago Carnival festivities as a well-observed break from their dedicated service.
Normally the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment have always been contributing The carnival, the national carnival, as you know, we contribute to Army Fete. Also, we do a juve in Trinidad, and the men and women of Tobago detachment wanted to introduce the carnival in Tobago. So the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment came on board with Contribuki, and here we are today.
Utley emphasized the significance of involving the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment service in the Tobago Carnival, highlighting its role in promoting community development.
In terms of the regiment being a part of the community, we normally do a lot of community work in Tobago as a regiment, and we think that not only in the serious times but also in times of play, we could also secure on the day and also contribute on the day in terms of being a part of our culture.
The band is organized into 8 sections, with each section featuring a unique design symbolizing a specific facet of the regiment's possibilities.
And we're playing with
Tobago Updates Television News.
Well, to some news of weather tonight, expect generally clear and warm conditions across most areas, with a possibility of isolated showers in some regions. There's a low to medium chance of thunderstorms, particularly near hilly and eastern areas. Overnight temperatures are expected to drop to 28 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's weather forecast indicates a few morning showers, transitioning to hot and sunny conditions by midday. There's a medium chance that an isolated shower could intensify into heavy and thundery rainfall, likely associated with Tropical Storm Felipe. Daytime temperatures are set to reach a high of 32 degrees Celsius with a heat index of 35 degrees. Seas are expected to be relatively calm, with waves reaching heights of up to 1.5 meters in open waters and remaining below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Sunrise is 5:51 a.m. and sunset at 5:52 p.m. Recapping the headlines, Finance Minister raises minimum wage by $3. THA is allocated $2.585 billion in the 2024 appropriation bill by the central government. Woman stabbed to death during love triangle dispute. And in sport, 5 half-centuries scored as the Tobago T10 Windball cricket bowled off over the weekend. Be sure to catch our post-budget analysis right after the news on Tobago Updates Television. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards, thanking you so much for joining us and wishing you a good night.